Grüße aus Berlin. Gareth here, and this is the first station of a 3-city trip for me this time, and each time I'm going to be staying in an Airbnb apartment, and this vlog is actually all about Airbnb, and I want to show you the apartments I'm going to be staying in, and as I do that I'm going to flag up various issues you need to watch out for to make sure you're booking exactly what you want from the platform. So I'm going to do that by showing you around each apartment, first here in Berlin, and then moving on to my second station in Vienna, and then finally on to Bratislava. So first, let's head up to Prenzlauer Berg. Sometimes keys are collected from one of these lock-up box type thingies, and that was the case here in Berlin. And a second time, and we're in. Okay then, in a minute we look at the Airbnb website, but there's one thing I want to flag up, which is that is the apartment normally lived in by the owner, as is the case here, in which case you've got more of the owner's stuff around, or is it actually normally empty but just rented out really to other Airbnbers, in which case it's going to feel much more like some sort of higher place, probably be a barer environment. It might be also though cleaner, more clinical. So that's a thing to bear in mind. You can tell that perhaps from the description, perhaps from looking at the photos. But here in the living room, for example, you can see that there are a lot of books. There'll be things in these drawers belonging to the owners and so on, you know, and I haven't gone through any of that stuff, neither would I think it was appropriate to do so. But you know, there is stuff around then belonging to the owners here too, and here you can see, and none of that's my stuff. And similarly, let's start with the kitchen then. Once you get into the kitchen, the owners cooking, you know, equipment is here, which is what you'd expect, but also foodstuffs. I'm never sure to what extent you're supposed to be allowed to use this. When I arrived, I didn't have any coffee, so I did make myself a coffee with what's here, but I've now bought some of my own stuff, sort of play it by ear, because I'll be leaving some of the things I bought as well. Same with the loo roll, I picked up some of that, so I'll be leaving that. How well a kitchen is equipped is often an issue which comes up when people are reviewing on the site. I've been in Airbnbs which were supposed to be for 4 people, where there were a couple of spoons, for example. It was all right because I was on my own, but it wouldn't be if you were a full family. Here there's plenty of stuff, which is great. And there's an oven here. There isn't a microwave in here. I hadn't noticed that from the description. It's pretty useful to have a microwave, so I was slightly irritated when I found that there wasn't one. Not a big disaster for me, but do check the descriptions clearly, and you know, you can always get in contact with the owner or the manager to find out how a place is equipped. One good thing I've got here, again something you should look out for, is whether there's a washing machine or not. I've used that already. And otherwise, it did have a bit of a lived-in feel, so there was a monkey old washing up sponge. I've bought a new one here. You'll be less likely to get that, I suppose, in a purely rented place. But you know, just adjust your expectations really, and know what it is that you're going to be getting. You're not going to a hotel with an Airbnb experience. Many of the people letting them out are still amateurs. They're doing it for some extra money on the side. It's not going to be like being in a 5-star hotel, and that's fine, but you need to have the right expectations when you start. Let's look a bit then at the site. You can choose a place. So if we choose Berlin here, and then you put in the dates. So we'll choose some random dates. Let's say, I don't know, June the 9th for a week, and you can apply that. So that's come up now here. Let's move this a bit closer. And then how many guests? Well, I'm just one adult, so apply that. 2. Okay, let's say 2. Apply that. And so it's then thrown up the different places that are available with the different prices. You can also say, I think, homes. What's going on here? Plus homes, yeah, click on there. You can say home type. That's the thing I wanted to show you, because it's here you say whether you want the entire place, which is what I normally go for. or whether you just want a private room or a shared room. So I'm going to click on entire place, and up it comes. And so you have a rather nice map here, which is interactive, which is a good way of, you know, whittling down the places you might be interested in. You can actually blow it up, new ones appear as the scale gets larger. So you can choose which part of town. You can click on here, you can see the daily price here. If you click on one of them, then it will come up. It's this rather fine one, which we can also see here just in the listings. So let's have a look at that. And here it comes. So it's got a rather nice photo. There's more photos if you go in of the whole place. And then also you will have a description. This one's actually come up just in German, which is great for me linguistically. And it's got the price in actually in pounds there, because I'm on the .co.uk site, and there are details there now. It's gone into English again here. So okay, that's in German because it's the description written by the owner, so it's up to them to choose the language. But this standard bit then tells you about the amenities, and this is where you need to check. This is more detail. So there's an iron. We don't have one of those here, which I could have done with, given there's a washing machine, there's a TV, washer, heating, hot water. Heating obviously relevant in winter. Kitchen space where guests can cook their own meals. It tells you they're cooking basics, pots, pans, oil, salt and pepper, dishes and silverware. There's a refrigerator. Again, it doesn't seem to say that there's a microwave there. What is not included, there's no wireless internet here. That's a no-no for me. Do check your internet. There's no air conditioning, which in some climates might be relevant. Now, actually the internet here is not at all bad, but it's not so good in the living room. So the reason I've set the computer up in the kitchen for this session is because it's much more reliable here. You then go through the payment system. You have to agree. There are details about the fact that you have to climb stairs, for example, smoking rules. So look out for all these. Check the small print carefully. There may be a discount. Look, I've got on this one, because I'm staying for 7 nights, as it were, they've offered me a £56 discount, so it's 14% discount. The cleaning fee and so on. Occasionally I've had to pay that in cash, but generally it's included, so that's good. And you're ready to go. Okay, so let's look in the bathroom next. This is a bit of a narrow bathroom. It's a bit of a drawback, but it's actually perfectly adequate for one person. One thing I like to look out for is the size of the basin, particularly if you want to shave over it. Let's just hit the light here. This basin is actually a bit narrow, particularly you've got this mirror here, so you can't actually, get your head in over the basin properly when you're trying to shave, which can be a bit irritating. But again, it's just a minor thing. If you've got a family though, again, it could be a bit of a hassle. And then there's a shower at the end here, lots of hot water here, that works fine. Towels are provided. That's another thing to check for, actually, whether towels are provided. Usually you'd expect some basic towels and some basic bedding to be provided. There's one double bedroom. One thing I like to look out for is how good the blinds are. Some places I've been in, they don't seem to have proper curtains or blinds at all. So again, I tend to rule those out. Depends what you like. There's some wardrobe space. I've got some of my own stuff hanging up. There's also in here some of my own stuff here, but then there's also bedding, which you can take. The owner's stuff has been cleared out from here. And in the living room, so this is a lovely space, a bit dark. Again, it's got blinds. I think this is probably a fold-out bed because, this is not really an apartment for one person. Normally you'd have a group of people here, I suppose. And I would say some of the places I've stayed in have been rather optimistic when they've said, oh, it can accommodate 4. The place I was in Reykjavik in Iceland last October, for example, actually there was a double bedroom, but then there was also a fold-out sofa, but it was in the whole of the living area and you had to go past that to get to the kitchenette. So if it had been two couples, for example, one couple would have drawn the short straw if they had been sleeping in the communal living area. If it's a family with kids, then no problem, of course. So that was the place with only 2 or 3 teaspoons. There are 1 or 2 little niggles here. For example, this light here, it's a bit dark in here at night too. This light has been patched up and it doesn't work. You're gonna find, I think, things like that with a lived-in apartment, even with ones that are purely rental. The one I had again in Reykjavik, for example, there were 1 or 2 things missing. There wasn't a loo brush. I dropped a line to the organisers, and they did arrange for it to be put in. There too, I had to complain. The floors needed cleaning, and they got that done for me. So you know, you can raise minor niggles, but it's not, you know, it's not going to be room service. Again, adjust your expectations. It's reflected in the price. What I really love about these Airbnbs though, particularly if I can get a characterful, spacious apartment, is that I feel like I'm living almost, not like a native, but as if I was living here for a longer period, even for a short stay. And I can do my own catering, eat out, but sort out my own breakfast. You save money that way. I've done some catering in the evenings too. So it can make for a special atmosphere on your trip. So that's the Berlin apartment, and the next one I'm going to report about will be when I arrive in Vienna. And again, it's just me in the whole apartment, and let's see how that one compares.
Guten Tag, meine Damen und Herren, wir begrüßen alle zugestiegenen Fahrgäste im ICE der Deutschen Bahn auf seine Weiterfahrt nach München Hauptbahnhof über Leipzig, Erfurt, Bamberg, Nürnberg und wünschen auch Ihnen eine angenehme Fahrt.